Man, welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Back at it again, where it's all about the fake stuff. I'm excited tonight because these episodes are a staple in Dynasty podcast and just Dynasty leagues in general. We're buying low. Buy low, 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 low. Crap, man. What's up, man?
Just sitting here, hanging out with you guys, drinking whiskey and bourbon, having a good old time.
I'm glad you're drinking whiskey and bourbon compared to what you were saying in that text message earlier. See, Swizzy, what's up, man?
Craft man's over there fucking drinking wine coolers and sucking dick is what he's doing, man.
What was that
Guys,
flavor of the
Truly's is...
What was that flavor?
I ain't hating on the vape flavor, though. I feel like that vape flavor's fire, though.
What was it, Craft man? I forgot.
Strawberry snow cone.
Fire.
Oh, man. Oh, man. The thing is, that thing probably is. You know what? I told myself after the last time I hit a vape, because I don't vape, but every now and then when a friend's around, I'll be like, oh, man, let me get a hit. And I'll hit it.
He did that shit with cigarettes, too, man.
Yeah, I would do it with cigarettes. I don't even smoke cigarettes, but hey, they smoke one. Pass me that shit. I hit that thing. But I guess he's the brother-in-law now. He let me hit his vape. That thing was so sweet, man. I made a decision that night. I was like, never again, man. That thing was too sweet, man. I was like, heck, the very first time I ever hit a vape was with Chris. I threw up in the backyard, man. I hit it so hard. Oh, man. But look, we're buying low tonight, and I got a little bit of housekeeping real quick. 5-star review. Fucking do it. All right? And then I was going to say, if you look above our description on our podcast, there's a thing called send a message. You can comment on any episode there is. You could just send it just like a regular text message. You can call me and Craftman and Chris idiots. You could say, yo, man, y'all are doing a great, fantastic job or something. Any episode, it'll show up in our little database and we'll see it. And, I mean, anything else? 5-star. I already said that. Tell your buddy about the podcast. That's all the housekeeping I really got. But I just wanted to make sure that, hey, you guys can comment on the episode every now and then. Me, Craft, and Chris, we'll see it.
Yep. And word of mouth, like we always say, word of mouth.
Yep.
Get it out there to your buddy.
I made a joke to Diana. I seen somebody there was like a big old billboard out there, and I was like, that looks like somebody literally just bought a billboard and just put whatever they wanted on there. I was like, what if I just bought a billboard and was like, hey, Cruise Dynasty podcast?
I mean, theoretically, you could.
Well, Chris, you the tech guy. Go ahead and look up prices on billboards. We'll get it out.
Well, I mean, normally when you drive by an empty one that's got a number on it, you just call that number.
You know what, Craft man? Next time I see one, I'm gonna call and be like, "How much?"
You
is
should
that
see them like every day.
billboard?
If you get on what 85 or 75, they're all on 75.
75 north. I head up there. And
they might all be replaced with the end is nigh, the savior is coming ones though. Like those have been buying up all of them.
Yeah, I was just like
that Donald Trump posters. So.
I was like, that's some advertisement right there. Go get us a billboard, man. Just one random billboard in the middle of Georgia somewhere. Just.
Oh.
All right. Well, shoot, Crab, man. We off the dome tonight, buying low. I got at least one up high. I got some for some running backs because see, Swizzy, you know how I do with running backs. I'm gonna patch it up. Hey, patch it up. Patch it up. Oh, patching that thing up. So I got some buy lows at running back for days. Couple tight ends in the mix. We got a quarterback in the mix. We'll try our best to give y'all some ADPs because it's just like every other episode. We're just your guys in the garage. I'm on the back porch tonight. Chris up in the studio. We're all doing our thing. I'm drinking a Coke. Chris is drinking his. I don't even know what Chris is drinking. What you drinking?
It's the Ingles Coke. I'm too poor to afford real Coke.
The
5-star review,
Lord
people. 5-star review so I can get real Coke.
Support Chris. Support him. If you share the podcast, maybe one day he could get a real Dr. Pepper and a real Coke. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead. I mean, yeah, you want me to, Chris Kraft? You want to go first? Go ahead, Kraft. Start us off, man.
All right. Well, I got one that is kind of questionable because there's a lot of. If you ask anybody, nobody can really give you what they feel about this player. But I think you can get them super low, and it's a running back. So I'm going to have still one of your running backs.
Patch it up. Patch it up.
Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh, you know what? It's funny that you bring him up because you and old Potty Pooper were cussing me out about Ramondre last year. Go ahead.
And it worked.
It was right. It was dead correct.
and it was right. But they brought Antonio Gibson in. I think he's going to take a little bit of work. But at this point, like I said, I don't think anybody knows anything about Ramondre Stevenson. They look at the Patriots like Chris does. And his face when I said Ramondre Stevenson, he was like, I don't want that
give you a third.
On my team.
I'll give you a third or a fourth.
Is it possible to get him to get him for a second?
His ADP, he's the 18th running back off the board. This is Superflex ADP. His ADP is 81.5 right now from what I'm looking at. 18th off the board.
But that's different. That's different from what people in existing leagues feel about Ramondre when they had him on the team. And they're worried shitless about his workload in the offense this year. But you got Jacoby Brissett, who I actually think is going to play at least half the season. And he's going to be tossing it down. Antonio Gibson, he can play on passing downs and everything like that. But I still think Ramondre is the most talented running back there. And a lot of times, you can find a lot of value in bad teams with running backs that catch passes because they're going to be down and they're going to be dumping it down in the fourth quarter all game long. So in a full PPR league, I still think Ramondre got some value. So that's my argument for going and trying to get him. I wouldn't. That's a buy low episode. I mean, we ain't trying to tell you to break the bank for him, but I mean, some of them older guys, like if you're not a competing team, throwing like a James Conner out there, get a little younger, and, maybe it works out.
Yep. I don't dislike it because here's how I even view running backs. Like, I don't know how many people agree with me with this, but I'm never, ever, 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 ever not going to patch it up because I'm never going to go and I'm never going to pay up big for a running back. I'm going to look at a running back at a year-to-year basis. So if Ramondre, if I will throw a second for a running back, an old running back, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So not that Ramondre's old or anything, but I'm just saying. I dig it. I like it. I liked Ramondre last year. I was super high. I had him ranked, top 6 or something crazy like that?
And what has changed from last year to this year? Just Gibson coming in?
Well, Bill Belichick's not there, Kraft, man.
Well, I'm just saying, like, people were willing to rank him in the top 10 last year, looking at you. And I don't think anything's changed. Mac Jones was there. Drake May's there now. I think Jacoby Brissett's better than.
So basically, Mac Jones is still there.
Yeah,
what we've established.
But Ramondre did get hurt last season, and for what you can get him for, I think you can definitely get flex play out of him, and maybe even a good RB2. And his age, I mean, he's an older like prospect on his rookie deal, but he's still got, I think, 1 year left on his rookie deal. So there might be, some opportunity after that.
Yeah. All right. That's one buy low, Ramondre Stevenson. Chris, you got, let's just stay on the running backs since we own it. Chris, do you have any running backs in the book or?
Yeah, I got older guy, Alvin Kamara. They didn't draft anybody. They got Kendre Miller back there, but I mean, Alvin Kamara was playing pretty good whenever he was playing. He's gonna still be the same pass catching running back on a offense that's gonna struggle with Derek Carr a bit. He's going to be catching passes out the backfield. The only thing I'd be worried about is Alvin Kamara used to score a shit ton of touchdowns when the offense was really good, but now that they're going to struggle, if he can find the end zone for you once or twice every few weeks, I feel like it'll be good value to go get him. And you don't really have to give up nothing crazy to go get Alvin Kamara right now.
Yeah. I mean, I gave up the 204 this past year. I gave up the 204 to go get him. Competing team. Last year he averaged 17.9 points per game in PPR. So at that point he was the RB5 last season in points per game. And Derek Carr isn't going to change the way he plays. I mean, he's been in the league for forever, doing the same shit over and over. And they didn't bring in no receivers neither. I mean, they got Olave, Shaheed. They don't really have a tight end that's going to demand a lot of targets. I mean, Kendre Miller, I do expect him to come in, and I really like Kendre Miller. He might be on the buy low episode too, depending on who you're playing with. But Kamara's still gonna catch too many balls to finish outside of RB2, like an RB2, not RB2.
Oh, him and Derek Carr that shit was all day last year, man. That dude Derek Carr just stayed dumping it off to Kamara. Nothing changes. Jamal Williams still there. Kendre Miller, he'll be healthy this year, so I expect him to take a little bit of the load off right now. And just super flex ADP, like you said, I'm just giving like a little price range over here. He's 21. He's the 21st running back off the board, 87.5, even lower than Ramondre. So age is definitely a factor as well with Kamara. I'm easily throwing out a second for Kamara. Like you said, the 204, that's automatic.
And there's a lot of young running backs that you can trade and add a pick to go get Kamara if you don't just want to make a pick for something. But I mean, you can throw like a Chase Brown and a late second out there. You can do something like that. Like some of these prospects that played last year that might get like Zach Charbonnet for Alvin Kamara to a team that can't use Kamara. Something like that. You might can get something done like that.
So that's Ramondre. That's Alvin Kamara. Now, I'm going to toss out one because when we talk about buy lows, specifically, I'm always trying to buy low on running back. So these are guys that I've actually sent out offers for this offseason. I got one for you, Craftman and Chris. Hear me out. I'm going down to the mud a little bit. I'm going to say Raheem Mostert. And this is why I say Raheem Mostert. Old as hell. That he got a deal this past year. It was $8 million, 3.5 guaranteed. So he's on the team. This dude is definitely going to have a role with the Miami Dolphins next year. And what did the Miami Dolphins do? They went and they drafted him another running back, right? So to me, it makes it even easier to obtain Raheem Mostert. I definitely see Raheem Mostert going out there, getting some work. You know how they do in Miami. That offense is dynamic as hell. I mean, how old are we talking about? I mean, I'm going to look at some Superflex
He's like
ADP.
31. Yeah, 31, 32.
This man, Mostert, he's the RB40 off the board right now, Superflex drafts. 142 ADP. This dude last year was like, I can't remember off the top of my head where he finished and all that, but for a long stretch of time, he was like RB2.
He was the RB1 for a minute.
Yeah.
This dude was balling out last year. I'm not saying he's going to repeat it, but I'm just saying, I think you can get Raheem Mostert for less than a second. I mean, ain't nobody thinking about, what if I tossed out a third? What if I tossed out 2/3, Crab Man? Could I get Raheem Mostert? Maybe.
I think you can. And like I was talking about on the last episode, doing my rankings, I had a lot of guys grouped in where I think it might be their last year playing. And, Derrick Henry's way up there with it might be his last year. James Conner, it could be his last. He'll probably stay in the league, but it might be his last good fantasy year.
Right.
And Raheem Mostert's way cheaper than them. And I don't think any of us would be surprised if Raheem Mostert finished higher than both of them guys next year. So
I also wouldn't be surprised
totally
if Raheem Mostert got hurt and hung it up.
Right.
They said that last year, though.
And the thing is you're giving away a third. I mean, you lose your third. I mean, whoop-de-damn dude. Like, you took a shot, and we'll see how it goes. Like, I'm just all in on patching it. I'm gonna patch it up. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is awesome. This year, guess what? In my home league, I offered a 25-second for Raheem Mostert. Got laughed out the building. You know how it is in home leagues. I get LOL'd about every other trade offer. Now they went and drafted what was his name that they drafted Miami
Jalen
Dolphins?
Wright.
They went and drafted Jalen Wright. And now I know deep down he's thinking, dang, I wish I'd have taken that second for Raheem Mostert. Because you ain't even getting a second from my ass now, cuz. So, Raheem Mostert on my buy low list. That's Ramondre, Alvin Kamara, Raheem Mostert. Crabman, any more running backs?
Chris, you got any more?
I don't think so.
I got one.
Go ahead, Matt. What you got?
Jaleel McLaughlin, or whatever however you say his name is.
Yeah.
I think some people would say Javonte Williams might be a buy low. I would say possibly, but I sold him for a first.
I don't think
year.
so.
I was about to say I sold him for a first just this offseason. I'm not saying that I'm falling off of Javonte Williams, but I'm just saying I could get a first for him, and that was just automatic. So now I'm just looking at the team. Sean Payton has brought in Jaleel McLaughlin. He has brought in Samadre Perine. He has brought in Estime. He's brought all them in. And Javonte wasn't brought in. He was just already there. You know how these coaches be. They like to get their guys involved. Jaleel last year looked like he was probably the best running back just last year. There's easily a role for him. I would say you'd have to give up a second for him just because he's younger. But you look at the juice.
You don't have to give up a second.
You don't think so?
No way. I think he's on waivers in some leagues.
Well, shoot, I'll toss out a couple thirds. Try to go get me some McLaughlin. That's real. That's another one that's real low. I mean, heck, he's probably going lower than Dagon. I can't even find him on the list. So he's down there. Oh man, running back 64. We're getting in the mud tonight.
In the mud.
We deep in the mud, all up in the trenches. Jaleel McLaughlin, definitely on my list. I mean, Jaleel McLaughlin is going behind Will Shipley. I mean, riddle me that one. That shit don't make no motherfucking sense. AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon? You serious? I mean, I don't know. Just ahead of Alexander Madison. So that definitely on my list. Crabman, any more running backs?
Yeah, I was looking at it. Like we said, we're on the top of the dome. So I got two running backs grouped together at RB36 and RB37. And these guys fall into the category of just, these are players that you could put in every single week this season. But I believe that they're going to get good work this year. So you don't have to pay anything for them. I think it's a 1-year rental. But Zach Moss and Devin Singletary.
Yes, sir.
Couldn't agree with you more. For Zach Moss to be the starting running back right now, for Cincinnati to be going as RB36 after the year that he came off with the Colts, it kind of amazes me. When you look at these ADPs, it shows you sometimes how people play fantasy. They don't care about fantasy points. They care about what the projections are going to be 3 years from now. And shit, we can see it pretty damn clearly that Zach Moss and Devin Singletary are going to be the main running backs for their teams this year.
Shoot, crap, man. The 36 is Zach Moss, 37 is Devin Singletary, 38 is Chase Brown.
Exactly. I would trade Chase Brown for Devin Singletary easily. Just to get me some production this season if you needed it. And the guy right after Chase Brown somehow is Kendre Miller. And Kendre Miller should be skyrocketed above that level because Kendre Miller, I heard on the footballers listen to that. If you put Kendre Miller in this rookie draft from this year, I really think it's just Jonathan Brooks and Trey Benson above this guy. I would take him above Marshawn Lloyd. I'd take him above Blake Corum. So why is Kendre Miller so far down compared to them rookies that came in this year?
I guess because nothing changed in that backfield. Kamara and Jamal Williams is there on a 3-year deal.
I don't think Jamal Williams is – I think he's done.
Right. I mean, I don't disagree with you. Any more running backs? Well, I'll just say one. I won't go into detail, but
all of them.
Yeah, all. I mean, I'm with you.
Except for the top 4 guys, every single damn one of them.
Hey, Jalen Warren, I've been trying to buy low on him, but every now and then you get stuck with a stingy owner and you can't get his ass. But I'm the same way. I got Jalen Warren on my home league team. I'm about to go send him to the guy that I'm trying to get him from for a first to see if he'll do it in this league. We about to go see. You want to play that game? You want to play that game, Z? I'm just kidding. Shout out to Z. It is funny though the way the game works. Any more running backs before we move it on?
No, I'm good on RBs. Brian Robinson.
Yeah, I was gonna say Austin Eckler. I mean, that. Think about the stench on Austin Eckler right now. Stanky. That man stank right now. Don't nobody want him for nothing. You never know. He might find him a passing role in the offense right here in Washington and get a few points from him. That's all I'm saying. Chris, go ahead and accept that trade for Austin Eckler.
I've already tried to trade him to Kraft Man.
What? I didn't have to look at it for 2 seconds. What'd you offer me? A third and Eckler for Kamara.
Hey,
You had offered me him in a second.
Yeah, I did.
Kamara or Eckler in a second for Kamara.
Yeah, but I knew where your second was at the time.
Yeah.
yeah.
I got Noah's second now.
You do have no second.
So for those if the moral of the story is, and not everybody feels that way, but old crew Matt Hamm does. When it comes to running backs, he gonna patch it up. Hey, that's just what he do, Kraft man. He just gonna patch it up. Hi. Let's move on to another.
I'm the opposite though of patching it up. I like to actually. Me and Chris like to build our teams through running backs. Everybody just leaves value for running backs. It's just how it is in this new dynasty world where everybody values.
In the home league that one year, I got Christian McCaffrey and was just like, all right, let's just build around this because I can win a championship with this.
Well,
and
yeah,
then I got Saquon, so I traded Christian McCaffrey, and now I'm ready to show these dudes that I don't need Christian McCaffrey to whoop their ass.
Hey, I think one thing that gets thrown out about running backs that's false is that running backs have a better chance of getting injured, but they do. They do technically, but receivers depend on their quarterback's health and their health. So
that's true too.
You got to count that in when talking about injury risk for running backs. You got to count in injury risk for receivers. I had Jamar Chase and Garrett Wilson last year. They didn't do shit for me. They didn't help me win nothing.
That's because their quarterbacks got hurt.
Because their quarterbacks got hurt. And them jokers get hurt like crazy too. That's why every backup quarterback in your fantasy league, if you got a deep bench, every backup quarterback should be on somebody's team.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's go to wide receivers. Y'all want to go? We done went through the buy lows on some running backs. Let's hop on some wide receivers real quick. Chris, you want to toss us out a wide receiver? You got any on the brain?
I got one that's pretty high. T. Higgins. We might be looking at a holdout.
Hold Higgins. Chris with that Clemson bias. All right, go ahead, Chris.
Well, you're talking about a holdout. I got a holdout.
They're talking about
T. Higgins.
hating.
Before Chris goes on, and we quit interrupting his ass. T. Higgins right now, Superflex drafts is going number 23. That's behind Tank Dell, Metcalf, Zay Flowers, DJ Moore, Nico, all them.
And he's a better receiver than every single one of them fuckers, dude. I promise you. He is better than all of them.
Honestly, I agree with you, Chris.
He is better than them dudes. He's not close. They're reportedly not close at all on a deal, and he's getting frustrated. They're not trading this kid. So somebody might be willing to... Now, you might have to take the L on a season or a few games if they don't want to work something out, but you could definitely get a disgruntled owner wanting to get something that'll produce this year.
I just don't know where all the T. Higgins love comes from. I mean, the guy, his best season was he played all 17 games. He was in PPR.
Just do me a favor. Go get on YouTube and type in T. Higgins. Watch it. And that's where the fucking T. Higgins love comes from. Watch the kid play, man. This kid is good.
He's a wide receiver 18 in his best year with 1,042 yards.
1,042 yards? Damn,
1,042 yards is not great.
Oh, man.
1,042 yards is nothing in a 17 game.
Where are y'all seeing this love at? That's my question. I ain't seeing no T. Higgins love out there, man.
I'm telling you to buy him low.
Well, I mean, that's me and Chris, though. I'm saying, crap, man, you were saying you don't get where the T. Higgins love is. I ain't seen that. He gets hated on all the time. It's because he's a Clemson guy, but I won't go into that.
I like T. Higgins. I think he's a good player, but people who think he's like, Chris has said it before, so I'm coming after Chris with this one. He goes to a number, like he's a number one receiver on another team, a bad team, after this season. He's not a number one receiver. He's a good receiver. He's not a great receiver. He's perfect where he belongs right now behind Jamar Chase. I don't think if he gets traded, the windows open up, and good God, T. Higgins is so great. T. Higgins is just good. I mean, he's all right. He's a decent wide receiver too.
You bring T. Higgins to Carolina and have Bryce Young slinging him that rock, and T. Higgins is a top 10 wide receiver.
Oh.
That I will totally argue. If he goes to the Panthers,
I'll die on that hill. I will. I promise you that this kid would be a top tier receiver if he was.
He shouldn't be rostered if he goes to the Panthers.
Oh, you're crazy.
I'm just playing. I ain't gonna go that far.
I won't die on that hill with Chris, but I'm with Chris as far as like put him as a number one receiver on who?
Give Justin Herbert T. Higgins.
Yeah.
If he goes anywhere next year, to be like the Panthers or the Giants or somebody.
Give Jordan Love T. Higgins.
Man,
we don't need him. We have a lot. We have receivers that can stay on.
We don't need him.
Well, actually, we don't.
You can definitely need T. Higgins. They will fucking cut Christian Watson for T. Higgins, bro.
I love that T. Higgins, but I ain't paying that price tag. I would hate for the Packers to pay T. Higgins in the offseason. That would be absurd for them to pay him over $20 million a year. He is not a $20 million a year.
If I was the Panthers GM right now, I would pay T. Higgins a 4-year deal at probably about $19.5 to $21 a year.
Just go get Nico Collins for cheaper.
Hold on. That's what I was about to say. Put T. Higgins in Houston. He's the best wide receiver in Houston today.
He's not in Houston.
I'm saying if you put him in Houston, he would be the best wide receiver in Houston. He'd be sitting there with C.J. Stroud. There's all kinds of situations you could put T. Higgins in where I'd be like, man, this dude could easily be top 12.
He could be the best.
Panthers.
He could be the best receiver on a lot of teams in NFL. It doesn't make him an alpha great receiver though. I mean, like the Packers, they don't have alpha receivers. He would be the best receiver on that team, but it doesn't make him great. It just makes him better than what's on the roster.
Man, him and Jordan Love, that's a top 12 finish automatic.
I don't think so. I think they spread it around.
I mean, I think that they spread it around, but I think that he's going to
score a lot. He's going to go to a bad spot. He's going to go to a bad spot. I think if you got T. Higgins, you're hoping like hell that I would hope like hell that Cincinnati extends him.
I'd hope he goes to the Bills.
I mean, I'm not a T. Higgins owner, but as a guy that likes T. Higgins, I want him out.
Yeah.
I'm on his side. Like, if they're not going to pay you, get the fuck out.
They shouldn't pay you. You ain't shit.
What? He's had 1,000-yard season.
There's a lot of people that had 1,000-yard season.
They played in the Super Bowl.
That was 2 years ago.
Well, look,
T. Higgins was in that motherfucker though.
Yeah, and he pushed off of Jalen Ramsey and grabbed his face mask onto the ground, and just scored a touchdown. I remember that.
Then he nearly killed a dude. I mean, hey.
I think T. Higgins is good. I think T. Higgins is good, but I'm not going to call him an out like I just can't. I just can't get on that hill of saying that if he goes somewhere else, like he's just going to be the best. Like when Stephon Diggs went to the Bills, that's not T. Higgins. Like if T. Higgins leaves Minnesota, like when Diggs left Minnesota and went to the Bills,
way lower than what T. Higgins would do.
I was about to say you went way low. You went way disrespectful. You got to do something better than Stephon.
No, I'm saying when Diggs left Minnesota and went to the Bills, it wouldn't be that type of situation. When Stephon went to the Bills, it was like He was like the wide receiver 3 in fantasy. That ain't happening with T. Higgins.
Mm.
I'm not talking about Diggs now going to the Texans. I'm talking about when Diggs went when he was younger and went to, the Bills.
I think he would view the NFL would definitely view T. Higgins higher than even Stephon in his prime back then.
I don't.
Stephon is bad.
You don't think Stephon in his prime is as good as T. Higgins right now?
Hell no. That shit ain't even close.
Oh,
Why do you think Minnesota? Why do you think
that
Minnesota
Clemson
wanted?
bias is crazy.
How about this? Think about this.
That shit is coming out of your skull right now.
Think about this, crap, man. Minnesota wanted to ship his ass out and was willing to roll out there with Adam Thielen and then eventually go get a rookie. Cincinnati wants so hard to keep this man.
Stephon Diggs' most noticeable play was on blown coverage.
With Case Keenum.
Well, I'll just wait.
Got lucky, bro.
I'll just wait till everybody listens to this episode and they're not Clemson lovers. And
bro, I'm so used to the hate. I don't care. Tell me that I'm stupid. I don't give a fuck.
I know. I was in the trenches on Twitter with that hate the other day. I was like, golly, man, it'll never leave us. Well, it'll always be here. All right, Kraft. Let's do another one. Let's get off of T. Higgins, man.
Hey, I did prove a point with Chris though that he's a buy low because if you got a manager like me,
who don't want T. Higgins, I
offered a 25 first for T. Higgins. That's as far as I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I feel like we I don't know. It's like we agree, but then there's like this slight difference, and then we go on these tangents where it's like it seems like we disagree more than I would.
We actually all be on the same page, really, when it comes down to it.
I think where I had them ranked at, y'all were like, "That sounds good." So it was like, not like I hate it. The only bias I had is just like against Chris saying that he'd be great with another team, and I just don't see that. I like him with Cincinnati.
Oh no, you the one that you also said Michael Thomas wasn't that good of a receiver when he was younger too. I remember you saying that.
Was that you?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, because I said something about everything that Michael Thomas has done and accomplished in the league, and you were like, I just don't know where you're getting that.
Well, he had a one. Michael. Well, I guess I'm right on Michael Thomas then. If T. Higgins' career pans out like Michael Thomas, I might be all right on this take.
Michael Thomas had a 3-4 year stretch where, on God, and I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, that Joker was way better than Julio for a 3 or 4 year stretch. All right, man, let's go on to the next, man. Give us crap, man. You know what? Since T. Higgins is kind of high, let me throw out a high wide receiver real quick because you going to get down in the mud a little bit?
I might get down in the mud a little bit.
All right, I got a high one then. His name is A.J. Brown. And this is the only reason why I even say A.J. Brown right now. Because if I did my Dynasty rankings today, I got him 6. And I think there's an argument for 5. Some people would have him 7. But I look at Dynasty rankings, they got this dude way down there, like below Malik Neighbors and shit like that. I ain't doing that. Me and the Crab Man are in a startup right now. This dude was the 10th wide receiver off the board to the point where I was like, golly, man, I'm about to just trade everything and just go get his ass real quick. It didn't work out that way. I'm not even saying that obviously you're gonna have to pay to get AJ Brown. That's the truth. But I'm just saying a guy that I would value as a wide receiver 6, he's got a stank on him because of the whole collapse that the Eagles did last year. It was a big time collapse. AJ Brown stunk that back half of the year. That to me is not indicative of what's gonna happen this next coming up year. The Eagles are definitely about to get back on it. He just signed a deal. Devontae Smith signed a deal. The Eagles they're pretty franchise. And what do? They got Kellen Moore up in the building. They're probably going to be slinging the rock a little more. So, AJ Brown, a clear buy. Crap, man, what say you?
I agree totally with that. From what happened in the startup this time, it's like people are just really devaluing.
Chris Olave went ahead of AJ Brown.
I mean, that's just crazy. AJ Brown can finish top 5. Chris Olave can't. So, and
AJ
like you said, he just signed a new deal.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts signed a new deal. And Devontae Smith signed a new deal. Nothing changed in Philadelphia.
Except the OC.
Yeah, the OC changed, which is better.
Which is a passing guy.
Yeah, he's a passing guy. They brought in people that were, I guess I don't know who they brought in last year. They didn't bring anybody. They brought in people from the building that they brought up to see if they could be offensive coordinator or not. They didn't really go out and make a big hire last year. So this year they actually did, like you said, Kellen Moore, who, was with Dallas, was with the Chargers, and all he likes to do is throw the ball and run play action. So A.J. Brown's going to get his. And as much shit as I talked about him talking crap on the field to Jalen Hurts, I mean, it was different than the Diggs situation. Diggs was talking shit when the Bills were winning.
Right.
Philadelphia or A.J. Brown was talking shit when Philly was losing. When he was going off at the start of the year, that's when they were winning games. So they need to get back to that recipe.
Right.
Yeah, they need to win games, but he'll need to be bitching and moaning whenever he's being triple covered and not getting the ball thrown.
I don't like it, but I'm just saying that I don't think that should affect his ADP.
No.
Yeah. You got anybody, Chris? You got any receivers to go snag up on the cheap?
Deontay?
You talking to the Deontay Johnson fan club on this podcast, man.
Deontay Johnson. I have been. I don't even know if you can buy this dude. I mean, in no league that I'm in, every league that I'm in, the same person's got him. I've actually, I don't even message people about trades. I've actually messaged Will about this. I can't even get a response, bro. I'm like, what's the price? What's the price, dude? What do I got to give up? I assume that you can buy low on Deontay Johnson, but I don't know. But I haven't been able to.
My thought was he's going to the Panthers, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh man,
I don't want this trash ass motherfucker."
Right. And we saw that. And I think every one of us was like, "Oh man, I want me some motherfucking Deontay Johnson." There ain't gonna be no buy lows in the leagues we in because I know you're right. Chris is right. In every league that we are in together, the same dude has his ass. We cannot get him. So, I mean, I would even go as far as is he like? Would you pay up for him? Like, you know what I'm saying, Crab Man? Would you pay up for Deontay, or are we just too bullish on this man?
I would give a first for Deontay.
I mean, if you're looking at this year's draft, you're talking about like Xavier Worthy or Deontay Johnson. I mean, I don't know if many people would do that. I don't know if people would give up Xavier Worthy for Deontay. I think you got to go down. You got to go down a little bit. It's tough to say he's worth a first, but I mean, it still might be worth it. I mean, just being honest, I think it might be worth it to if you think you're going to have a late first to go out and get a guy who we just seen what Adam Thielen did last year. If it's similar to that and he doesn't fall off at the back of the year because he's not 30,000 years old, just keep it rolling. You know the Panthers are going to be losing games, right, Chris? They're going to have to throw the ball.
Yeah. And that offense, in theory, is an ascending offense. They're bringing in wide receivers. They ain't
got nothing. They ain't got nowhere to go. But
we're signing running backs for no reason, even though we just drafted one and then we signed one and then now we done signed another one. I mean, I don't know what's going on over there, but we're not gonna be losing. We're gonna be winning games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
no
know.
primetime games at all. Not a single one. Gotta do us like that.
Think about this though. Adam Thielen, that first stretch of the year was going off. I mean, put Deontay Johnson in a role like that, it's over with. I mean, Adam Thielen's like. Go ahead, Kraft.
I was just wondering what y'all think that offense is going to look like. Adam Thielen can't really get down the field like that. I mean, Xavier Legette will be their deep threat, but where does it correspond with Deontay and Adam Thielen? Who's going to get the short targets?
I think what they're going to do is that they're going to run Xavier Legette as like the decoy or like the burn route where they're going to, take some chances with him. They'll use Deontay Johnson as these little short routes, screen passes and whatnot, and then they can run Adam Thielen across the center or whenever they want to run like two slot type receivers.
Like intermediate route?
Like intermediates. And do that. I mean, that's what I would do. But
I
then
think
again,
it might be the opposite with Thielen and Johnson. I think Johnson will probably get down the field a little more, and Thielen. But I mean, that's where if Bryce Young wants to succeed, those are the type of passes that you're going to have to hit. Is those 10-yard, 15-yard, like Debo Samuel type routes, slants, and
yeah, I
stuff
don't
like that.
like. I always enjoy it whenever they catch deep routes and stuff, but that's not what always win games. I just want to see them completing passes, getting it to the guy in space, maybe them get a little bit and then move the chains. I just want to see football being played, and that's what you have to do when you're playing on like bad offenses and starting out trying to learn the game. That's what you got to do. And if these guys can get open, if they put them in the right spot like that, I think there could be games where Adam Thielen could go off, and there could be games where Deontay goes off, and then Xavier Leggett to me might be kind of like who was it that the Panthers had?
Mingo.
Mingo. I've kind of written off Mingo at this point, although it'll probably be Mingo over Adam Thielen.
I'd give a third for him.
Yeah.
For Mingo?
Yeah. I'm not, you know
I'm
me.
done with that.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not willing to say Mingo and Bryce Young and all these dudes are bad at football because of last year. I'm sorry. That O-line was ass, and that whole shebang was ass. Them jokers had no chance to succeed up there. Their head coach was gone after a few games. I just can't say they're bad at football. And you never know. Jonathan Mingo ain't going to beat a guy. We already know that. He ain't going to beat a guy. There might be a role for him. So I ain't going to say he's bad at football just yet. At least give me a couple years.
I mean, if you got a roster spot you need, I don't know if y'all agree, but I would drop him. I mean, if you really needed to fill it and you had a lot of rookie picks and you're just looking for people to drop and Mingo's on your team, I would probably, try one of these rookies out, put him in your taxi squad, get Mingo out of there if I had to. I just don't see.
I'd be a bit higher if they didn't get Deontay. I'd be a lot higher on Mingo, I feel like. But they got Deontay Johnson, and then they traded up and took Leggett, who since technically was taken in the last pick in the first round. He's got higher draft capital than Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah.
I think he's got a little bit more big playability in him, too.
Well, I got one 2 years in a row. Jahan Dotson.
Oh, yeah,
man. I'm behind it. I'm with it.
Hey, we might be the only pod that would say that. You want to talk about a man that gets some hate? Man, he is clearly on that hate list out there in them Twitter streets.
You want to talk about another, like a guy that wasn't able to be thrown the ball to just because the O-line was so bad, too? Talk about a quarterback running for his fucking life.
But the Commanders, they threw more passes than anybody in the league last year, which is crazy. But Jahan Dotson, he was on the field over 90% of the snaps all season long, pretty much. I mean, over 80% of the snaps. And I try to look for like a correlation between what went good last year and what can go good. He's going as a wide receiver 54, so you're not having to spend nothing on him. But guess who was going that late last year? Nico Collins, Tank Dell. You bring in a rookie quarterback, whether you like him or not, if you think Jaden Daniels is going to be great or if he's going to be bad, it doesn't really matter your opinions. But there's going to be 6 rookie quarterbacks starting in the league this year. And so that leaves about 26 teams that have, the same quarterbacks they had last year, somebody that we already know that's played before and what their tendencies are. These 6 rookie quarterbacks, go ahead and take a shot on some of these receivers that's playing with these rookies because you're not spending anything to get them. Like Jahan Dotson, perfect opportunity to show out if Jaden Daniels is a real deal, just like Nico Collins did. He played 2 years before C.J. Stroud came in. Didn't do shit. Was nothing. Was dead to everybody. Marvin Mims for the Broncos. What if Bo Nix is all right? These are the kind of receivers that I'm thinking about drafting late in drafts. It's like, I haven't seen the quarterback play. I might not like Bo Nix, but I have seen Derek Carr play and like an A.T. Perry or something. I'll pass on that. Like, give me something that I have seen. Or give me something that I haven't seen before with these quarterbacks. See if they can, perform and make these wide receiver 2s or wide receiver 1s actually perform to their highest level. Because like Nico before CJ Stroud came in, he was dead.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I mean, we're not Jahan Dotson haters just because of one bad year. I mean, and Marvin Mims, like I'm all right with Marvin Mims. I got one though for you, and I said this one last year. Banging my head on the wall. I'm gonna bang on my head on the wall until I'm black and blue. Until we're gonna talk about Craftman's guy right here, Romeo Doubs. I'm looking at ADPs right now, Craftman. This dude's going behind Christian Watson and Jaden Reed, and
By a lot.
by a lot. And I'll take Romeo Doubs. Here's the thing, man. I don't think a lot of people realize this, but maybe only people who had to play Romeo Doubs realize it. But because I had to get nasty last year, so I was putting Doubs in at the end of my lineup almost every week. This dude was catching a touchdown every other week. This dude pulled through for me time and time again. So I think when people ask the question, who's going to be the guy with the Packers? And I think to an extent they will be getting the ball around, passing it here, passing it there, yada yada. The most consistent guy on that team is going to be Romeo Doubs. I can say that now. Now, is he going to have games like Jaden Reed? Nah, man. That dude Jaden Reed's going to pop off and go off a few weeks. There ain't no doubt about it. Maybe even Christian Watson going to do the same thing. But this dude Romeo Doubs, steady Eddie. This dude's going to be steady. He's going to be there. Jordan Love, already they have that rapport. This going into year 3, I'm a Romeo Doubs guy till I die. He'll just rot on my team. Just one of my favorite players. I don't even care. You could offer me 2 first. You're not getting him. Romeo Doubs, buy low. I mean, right now, his ADP is 56. Craft man. This dude's going behind Troy Franklin. He's going behind Jahan Dotson. Jerry Jeudy. Are we fucking serious? Let's take a Romeo Doubs over Jerry Jeudy. He's going behind Josh Downs.
Jerry Jeudy's playing with the Browns right now.
He's playing with the doo-doo Browns.
Exactly. I mean, I agree.
Crap, man. Hear me out. This dude, Romeo Doubs, is going behind Jameson Williams. Now, some
don't
things
mention Jameson. I might have another buy low.
Man, get that dude off my board. Get him off my motherfucking board. I'm sick of his ass. I've never even thought that this dude was. I thought after his rookie year maybe he had the talent. But let's just be real. Jared Goff is there. Amon-Ra is there. Laporte is there. That's the direction they're going.
I'm starting to doubt whether he has the talent. Talking about Jameson? I'm starting to doubt it. Yeah, I'm starting to doubt it.
Y'all keep doubting, man. This guy.
But crap, man.
This is the year.
I get it that we hating on him. But Romeo Doubs behind him? Come on.
No, I'd take Doubs. I agree. I mean, I listen to a lot of fantasy podcasts, and not a single one of them has Romeo Doubs as a wide receiver 1 in this offense.
Right.
But they all talk about it. It's always a topic of discussion. We talked about it on our podcast, what order we had him in. But it's such a tight-knit order that why not take the guy with the lowest ADP by a long shot? Not even by just a little bit. By a long shot. And we all seen what Romeo Doubs did in the playoffs. He was the best receiver we had in the games that mattered the most. He's technically the veteran on this team. And if you listen to Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks after they played and they did their interview after the Dallas game, they said that Doubs is the leader in the wide receiver room. We do what he says.
Yeah, I don't ever listen to that crap, man, because I don't give a fuck about the Packers.
You should. You need to pick a team that wins every now and again, man.
Hey, we went to a Super Bowl.
Just get that Panther shirt. Just get the Panther shirt and change the NTH in the middle of it. Put a CK right there, and you don't even have to buy a new jersey. Just put a CK right there.
Or I could do like UGA did. I could steal y'all's logo and change the colors. Or like Griffin High did.
Griffin High. I actually heard that they stole that from the Packers. I've heard that before. It was like an old school story. Hey, Romeo Doubs, even in the playoffs, I mean, he popped off against Dallas last year.
He was going off against San Fran.
I mean, the dude, I'm telling you, he's just. Are we sitting here acting like, here's the thing, crap, man. I ain't sitting here acting like Romeo Doubs is going to be like this and that. Like, is he going to be a top 20 guy? I'm saying it because I'm a fool and I'm gonna be like that. But I'm just saying, like, this is like for depth. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about depth. They want to talk about C.D. Lamb and A.J. Brown and Jamar Chase. This is a depth piece right here. Like, this is somebody that you can have on your bench, put him into your flex spot, especially when you're in a pinch. I can speak from experience. I felt way better having Dobbs in there than when I had to put Josh Downs or some other. Well, I was about to say Curtis Samuel, but hey, he was pulling through for me last year too.
He might be good too.
So I don't know, man. Romeo Dobbs, top of my list. He's on all my teams though, so
He'll be on our new team too.
yeah.
That we're drafted right now. I can go ahead and tell you a couple of guys that I know we'll have. It's Deontay Johnson and Romeo Dobbs. They will be on our team.
We reaching for Deontay. I don't give a fuck about the ADP. We gonna go snag that motherfucker.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you.
I know as much as we talk about him, we need some fucking shares of Deontay.
Yeah.
That's why we want him so bad.
But the thing is, that's how I'm with Christian Kirk. Now I know me and Craftman, we saw his ADP in that FFPC, and it wasn't as bad as what we are used to. I mean, over here it's like number 40 or something like that. Like,
wide receiver 24 or something like that in FFPC. I mean, it was
that was like right up our wheelhouse. So I'm not even gonna say you probably can't buy low on Christian Kirk everywhere, but it looks like on Sleeper you can. I went bottom. I mean, I traded Zamir White and got Christian Kirk. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad. There's a world where Zamir White scores more points than Christian Kirk. I definitely am aware of that. But I just took that dude off my tax. He played him for a couple of games and just shipped him off and got Christian Kirk. He's definitely a buy low.
Yeah.
Any more, crap, man? Wide receivers.
Now I got two quick ones. Quentin Johnston.
Yes.
If anybody says like I wouldn't ship off a third for Quentin Johnston, they're absolutely crazy. Like that's just absurd. That's absurd to me to not trade a third round pick for. Have you seen the depth chart in LA? That's why I like
bro. They're stacked.
There's some little white boy out there, some corny white cracker out there. You don't want to take a shot.
You've got to take a shot on QJ. I understand his rookie season was atrocious, and if you listen to any big podcast, they're going to give you the like the yards per route run and all these analytics and stuff like this. And yeah, I mean that shit don't work out a lot. There's a lot of historical data on stuff like that, but I'm just looking at the damn depth chart and looking at the quarterback that they have, and that's all I need to know to go send a third or a late second out for QJ. That's all you can really ask for, because you can't brag about his play on the field because it was pretty bad. But I mean, this was still a first round receiver, and I mean, if he played for the Panthers like Mingo, I'd be a lot more cautious. But he's gonna have more opportunity this year. There's no doubt.
Hey, that's right up the wheelhouse of what we talk about here at the Chris Dynasty Podcast. Those guys that go in the first round, and then the next year you can get them for a second. I say take a shot at them. And it's not even going to work out every time. I would have told you to buy Sky Moore a couple of years ago. That shit didn't work out. This with Quentin Johnston might not work out, but why not just take a shot like that? I mean, it was first round talent last year. I know some people are lower on JSN this year. Like, why not go get you some JSN? You know what I'm saying? Heck, people are probably lower on Addison.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not low on Addison or JSN.
Me and Swizzy ain't.
My point of view still stays the same on both of them.
But the thing is there's probably going to be a wide receiver that went in the first round of the rookie draft this year. That probably not going to pop off this year. Probably not going to be that good. And then next year, me and Kraft and Swizzy, we're going to be on this podcast saying, hey, let's toss a second out there and let's get that guy who was drafted in the first last year and just see how it goes. It might work, it might not.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people forget about QJ. He had some games with Justin Herbert, but he was a rookie. He didn't get a lot of playing time at the start of the year. Looking at his game log right now, he played, let's see, when Mike Williams was there, he played 27%, 15%, 24% of snaps. And then Mike Williams got hurt, and then he was playing about 50% of snaps. And then in week 9, he went up to 80%. But he played a couple games with Justin Herbert. There wasn't that many games he played with Justin Herbert. Maybe 4 or 5. I don't have it off the top of my head. But there was a time last year, it would be like if we were talking about Rashee Rice right now, saying that, they worked him in slowly, taking the first 5 or 6 weeks of Rashee Rice, which wasn't much, and then after that saying Patrick Mahomes got hurt, and see what Rashee Rice's numbers would look like. So, I mean, QJ is easy to me. And I got one more before we go off receivers. Rashid Shaheed. My guy. Rashid Shaheed. Number 2 on the Saints roster right now.
Crafter said Shaheed, and me and Chris, we just looking.
Yeah. Y'all didn't care. Y'all didn't care about Rashid Shaheed.
I'll take A.T. Perry over Shaheed. Oh, God. Let's go.
Rashid Shaheed's going as a wide
Shaheed is going to be like
71.
your Will Fuller type player where they're going to have these massive games, like fantasy games, because he's going to break off like a fucking 87-yard touchdown.
Just saying, draft Rashid Shaheed before you draft Gabe Davis. He's going 10 picks later.
Yeah.
He's going 10 picks later. I mean, we got to dig down in the dirt, and these guys are in the dirt, man. I mean, you're going to take Curtis Samuel's even after Rashid Shaheed, so I'll take Curtis Samuel. Oh, I got one more. I forgot about him. Just seen his name. I actually thought about him the other day. Darnell Mooney. Let's go. Let's go.
It might
if
be
This is what y'all think. If he's going to be Atlanta's savior, like you want to think, Matt, Darnell Mooney's going to be a good damn player. Is all I got to say.
I ain't said all that. I just said fantasy-wise that Drake Love and Kyle Pitts and all them, they're now in play. That's all I'm saying. Are the Falcons winning the Super Bowl? Nah, but we win in the division, goddammit. You know
Darnell
Mooney. You know who the savior is? Michael Penis. The savior of the
Michael Penis, dude. Oh, Michael
Big Penix energy. Let's go.
I've seen something where the Falcons put out something and put penis on that bitch, dude. The Falcons put some shit out, dude.
Oh, man. So, yes.
Do young players like that?
Michael Penix come and bail us out for years to come. All right, man. We good on Darnell Mooney. I ain't going to hate on you for it. He's going to be the number 2 guy there.
Wide receiver 77.
Y'all got Rondale Moore, too, don't you?
Oh, Rondale.
That doesn't count.
I mean, yeah.
He's definitely better than Darnell Mooney.
And y'all gonna be going. Y'all really don't think Darnell Mooney's gonna have any significance next year at all?
Nah, he'll be good. I agree. I just disagree with the savior part of Kirk Cousins. He ain't gonna be our savior. He might be the Drake London and Kyle Pitts savior, specifically the Kyle Pitts savior.
I'm looking at my Dynasty League right now, just looking at ADPs, and Treylon Burks is on free agency. And it's a 10-man league, so
I don't blame him. No shit.
But I'm the one who dropped him.
Oh man!
And Elijah Moore is on free agency too, man.
Get him out.
Dead to Elijah Moore, man.
They're done.
Just dead.
I would have told you to buy low on him last year. All right, I know we got a couple tight ends we could talk about, at least a couple. I got one for you, and it's easy, and it's so obvious that the whole world is probably thinking about it too. T.J. Hawkinson and Superflex, he's going 8th right now. There was a time period last year where I would have said this dude's probably the dynasty tight end 1.
Until Sam Laporta just shit all over that.
If Hawkinson would have finished the year healthy, I think there is an argument that Hawkins is up there with Laporta.
Yeah.
So with Cousins leaving on, I take that back. Cousins, right. With Cousins gone, it changes.
But with that said, tight ends are tight ends. So I mean, he's going behind like Travis Kelce still. I mean, I don't know. Kyle Pitts, it just depends on how you feel about that. Mark Andrews, I'm sure taking him over Mark Andrews. That's not even debatable to me.
Not me.
I hate you, Mark Andrews.
That was my buy low tight end too. At tight end 7.
Oh, my bad, crap. I ain't meant to step on your toes. Go ahead, buddy.
I'm good.
Mark good. Andrews. Any more tight ends? Listen, I know we say fuck those tight ends, so we're not gonna go too in depth. But Jake Ferg, got to be on the list for me. I like Jake Ferg.
25 years old.
Yeah, I'd take Dalton Schultz.
No, yeah, Dalton Schultz. I mean, even Evan Ingram.
Jake Ferg, Dalton Schultz,
Dallas Goedert.
They're all like the same player, aren't they?
Greg Dulcich.
You know what?
I wanted Dulcich. Like, I wanted Dulcich to be good so bad, and I know he's been hurt. But I don't know. I just don't think that they're gonna play this kid how he should be played. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
I'm looking at these tight ends, and a lot of them are buy lows. You want to know why? Because with tight ends positions, you should patch it up, patch it up, patch it up. I mean, I ain't even thinking about getting them top guys, man. You should have. So, that's all I'm gonna say. We just named off like 4 or 5 tight ends for your ass. Now let's just move on to quarterbacks real quick, because there's probably not too many of them out there. I'm gonna say one for sure that me and old C Swizzy said before we hopped on the pod. Whatchamacallit, Bryce Young. I'm not. I've said it on the one. I've said it once. I've said it twice. I've said it like 10 times. I'm not gonna say Bryce Young is bad at football because of what went down last year. He ain't dead to me. I would definitely buy low. Now, I want to buy low on Bryce Young. Like, I ain't paying up to get Bryce Young. I'm not even paying a motherfucking first for Bryce Young. And that's probably what it'll take. I don't know if a second gets it done. But Bryce Young, I would love to buy low on Bryce Young if there's that manager out there that just thinks he's ass, which they are. They're definitely out there. Go ahead, Crap Man.
No, I just raised my hand. I was that manager. I wasn't saying it was my time to go. I was just saying that I am that manager that thinks he is ass. And the reason it's not that I think Bryce Young is ass. It's the same reason that I didn't have him number 1 ranked quarterback last year. The upside is not there. Even if he does pan out and plays good quarterback with the Panthers, I mean, in this last draft, he's a QB 20 in ADP right now. If he plays his best ball, like absolute best ball, after seeing what he's worth last year, he's going to be the QB.
And we win the Super Bowl.
16.
Let's go.
QB. He's never going to finish as a QB 1.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's the reason I don't want to buy low.
I ain't gonna say that. I saw Daniel Jones finish as a QB1, so I know it's possible.
He ran for like 600 yards.
Man, Bryce Young can move it around. He can move.
He can't.
Brock Purdy's a pocket guy.
I'm not hating on the talent. I think Bryce Young could pick it up. Like, I think he can end up being a good quarterback. But as far as his upside goes, I just don't think it's worth it. Just go ahead and take somebody is going to be
saying because he plays for a mediocre organization, a lowly peasant organization like the Panthers. He can't be great.
Who, me?
Yeah, we can't all play at like Lombardi Field and stuff. Like we can't all we can't all have had the Favres and the Rodgers. Some of us had to slum it.
I'm just saying we did buy lows. The number 1 receiver for the Panthers was the wide receiver 40 in ADP. So I mean, it's kind of tough to be like, this man's got weapons upon weapons that he has to throw the ball to. And I agree with you, Chris. That what's his name? The dude who owns Walmart, that owns your team. That dude's a freaking idiot.
That dude sucks, man.
Guy, he's an idiot.
Can't deny that one. I got one for you. How about old Tua? And this is the reason why I say Tua. We just saw Jared Goff get paid. I'm about 99% sure that the Dolphins have no choice but to pay this man Tua eventually. So he's about to get extended. He's going to be sitting there with that dynamic offense again. He's going as a quarterback 16 right now.
Crazy. That's low.
So I would take a shot on Tua. In fact, we did our little top 12 rankings, and I was putting it in those chats, and that man P. Miller had to call us out. He said we way too low on Tua. Now I disagree with that, but
Tua,
we were fine. I mean, I had him above ADP anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, Jared Goff's at QB 18.
I think that one might kind of fix itself a little bit. We need to let that one play out a little
You think
bit.
it was all just a contract? That's the only reason he's that low?
I think people were. I mean, I ain't even gonna lie. A couple weeks ago, they were saying that they weren't even close on a deal because they were paying everybody. Amon-Ra, who else? Somebody else.
Just take this as a lesson, all you Dak haters out there. The Cowboys. This is not the last year that Dak plays with the Cowboys. It's not happening.
If the Cowboys want to win a Super Bowl, it is.
Dude, it's just crazy to me. Aaron Rodgers played for the Packers for 18 years. We won 1 Super Bowl. Not one time were we trying to get this motherfucker out because we weren't winning Super Bowls. What are they going to do? Start Trey Lance? Bring in a rookie? Nah, they're going to extend Dak Prescott because he gets them to the playoffs and gives them a chance to win a
Oh
Super Bowl.
man, dude, we can make it to one extra game a year, bro. Let's go, and then
Man.
get our asses kicked because our
Hey.
quarterback throws 4 fucking picks, like
Quarterbacks
blatant picks.
Dak will be there for years to come.
Daniel Jones got paid. Just think about that.
and that's what's gonna make it even funnier when Dak doesn't.
Dak is.
He's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid.
Without
Like,
question.
I agree that he's gonna get paid. I don't agree that he should get paid. I think this dude should be kind of shoved on. I think they should move on.
This
I
is
just
one where
don't-
me and Kraftman are we gonna be on the same side as this because even when they
Yeah.
played the Packers last year, that defense shit the bed. I know the Packers offense is ascending, but Dak had no motherfucking chance. in
I
that
agree.
game last year.
I agree and disagree with both of y'all at the same time. I don't know how that happens. But Dak shit the bed in that playoff game. He threw a pick six at the worst time and then came back, got the ball back, and then threw a pick. But
he gets
shit
a
like
lot of
that
blame
happens.
that he should not get.
But it's Dallas, man. Everybody's going to overreact. I agree with you, man. Everybody's going to overreact to Dallas because they're
gonna do that
America's
for
team.
quarterbacks. Period.
Aaron Rodgers had so many shit performances in the playoffs.
But hold on now. The reason why they didn't, he was for years and years and years. I was saying that dude is the LeBron James of the NFL. The media will not criticize this man. It took a COVID vaccine to start hating on this man. Think about that.
Yeah, I agree. And Dak just gets the brunt of all of it. I mean, if he was playing for a smaller market team, people would love fucking Dak Prescott. And I've always liked Dak Prescott. I think he's a good quarterback.
Yep, he's underappreciated. Heck, Bilo. Heck, me and Crab just took him as our QB1. That's how we do.
Him and old golf. I like good offenses. That's where I like to date my quarterback.
I have it. Dak, Drake May.
Oh my god!
I don't like Dak, man. I don't like
man.
Dak. I think the pieces around Dak is what makes Dak look good. I think Dak has always had a great offensive line, and I think he has always had a really good receiver to throw the ball to.
You know how the media be eating people up, like politically? Like, you just be watching it, and you're like,
Yeah.
They're
conservative, dude. Of course, I see it every day.
That's the way you are with the NFL Network. You're like, they keep talking shit about Dak. I gotta hate him. I really gotta hate him.
Hey,
I'm the person that I'll scroll through Facebook, and for some reason, I comment so much on Cowboy shit that it's on my feed. So I literally go in there and just troll these dudes and be like, y'all suck. Dak is trash. And they get so mad, bro. They get so pissed off. They love Dak.
Dak's the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. In my opinion.
He was running for the MVP. How was he underrated?
Because people like you saying that they're questioning re-signing him. I mean, that's underrated if I ever heard it. If they're questioning, getting him out of there.
Who's their owner? Their owner's probably got a plantation that he makes all the fucking workers work on when they get off from training, bro.
I did say that Kirk Cousins wasn't going anywhere last season. So, I mean, shit can happen, but I still think it's like 90% that Dak re-signed.
Hey, I said the same thing. I said there's no way Kirk Cousins going somewhere. So you're right. But I'm going to be real. Jerry Jones, I know he catches a lot of hate, and deservingly so in the past, but these last 3 or 4 years, I give the man a little bit of credit. He ain't been listening to the noise like that, like he used to. Even this year, they're talking about, well, he's got to get a running back. He's got to do that. He didn't do it. He don't have to. He don't want to.
Yeah, then he paid Zeke. Then he gave Zeke that massive deal. That didn't work out, so he got another running back, and then he re-signed Zeke because he didn't draft one.
Well, he's got him for the cheat now. Like, that was dumb. He shouldn't have signed him for that deal. I would never pay a running back like that. But you know what Jerry Jones did this last season? Patch it up. Patch it up. He patching that thing up, man. He patching that thing up. So I'll give him a little bit of credit. I think he's been doing a solid job lately. They got to win. They got to win. That's the only thing about it. It's Super Bowl and bust for them, especially right now.
It's so easy just to make the Super Bowl. I mean, teams, quarterbacks losing the playoffs over and over and over again. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers, we lost over and over. How many of them years out of them 18 years Aaron Rodgers was there did we make the playoffs? Probably at least 12.
Yeah.
See, I haven't watched my team make the playoff and have them lose 18 times. But when we make it to that motherfucking Super Bowl. But we lose.
That is true.
We lose.
Yeah.
quarterback doesn't dive on the ball when we're losing by 30 points. I mean, who don't do that? Don't make no sense.
That could technically be a buy low, I guess, because people hate him. He's a QB 15.
Yeah,
this dude in that startup we just did. Somebody took Drake May over Jared Goff.
He did.
That's
Chris.
Crazy.
I'm glad you brought that up because me and Kraft was like, oh man.
I've been seeing word out of the Patriots camp that they might be a little regretful that they took Drake May.
They just said he needs a lot of work. I mean, the Patriots don't do smart about it.
Why do I want to draft somebody at that early if they need a lot of work? I mean, fuck, I could have just took Michael Penix right there and then
all rookies need a lot of work. I mean, that's the way it is. If Justin Fields would have got to sit behind somebody for a little while, maybe he wouldn't be backing up Russell Wilson right now.
He got to sit behind Mitch Trubisky. Or somebody. I can't remember who it was.
He had, what, Foles over there too?
Or somebody like that. Foles, maybe.
I always agree with letting the rookie sit for even if it was Caleb Williams, but they ain't got nobody for him to sit behind. But if they had Jacoby Brissett or Gardner Minshew or something like that, let him sit. Let him sit for like half the season.
The Patriots just need to let Jacoby Brissett play, and then groom Joe Milton into the role, and then just get rid of Drake May.
Ain't no way. Joe Milton won't even be on the roster. Doug is a bum. All right.
So it's Drake May.
I'm
glad we agree. Thank you.
I will say this, and that startup that me and Kraft was just in, I would have never taken Drake May that high. Man,
it wasn't even on our radar.
He's at the top of the list, and we don't even see that name. We looking right past
his
that shit.
His ADP was like 30 something, like third, like top of the fourth round or some shit. It's like crazy.
Makes no
like
sense.
39.
So we'll agree with Chris. I just say Chris takes it to the extreme where I was like, nah, I ain't going that far. But where he went in that one starter we just had, absurd.
I mean, it's okay to think like Chris does sometimes too, because there are definitely players that I just refuse to fucking draft, and it doesn't hurt me or help me anytime. Because even if they do go off, I'm like, well, whatever. I still didn't want them. Amari Cooper.
Every time this coming up season that he throws like a turnover when he's playing or gets sacked or does something stupid, I'm like, I told y'all.
You're going to be like Dunk when A.J. Brown scored a touchdown. It's like, A.J. Brown over TD.
I'm going to be hopping on the pod talking about, y'all see Drake May? Y'all see Drake May?
Oh, man.
But
he benched his ass.
Do not disturb Drake May content. Anything with any Drake May content, just block it.
I'll get on here and just record my own episode and send it to Matt. Just of me like for an hour just talking shit about Drake May.
Hey, fellas, feel free to do that. You know, I'll put it out there. I'll definitely take a solo and throw it out there for y'all. But fellas, any more buy lows? Because we wrapping this thing up. We don't went through every position unless you want to go through some kickers. You can't. You could buy Harrison Butker for buy low.
I was just about to say, dude. I think you could get Harrison Butker for pretty low.
The man. It's funny, man. I ain't gonna get into politics, but the man's catching more heat than Deshaun Watson did.
I don't even know what he did. I'm
not gonna say what he did because it'd be the end of us if we say what he did.
you know how it is, crap, man.
I was listening to McAfee yesterday. They said he was like a diehard Catholic or something like that.
He is. He just said some, you know how it is. The left, they freak out. If you don't agree with them, you're a bigot. It's just like one of those type deals. But
he's a misogynist. He's a, you know
how it is. There's outrage for Harrison Butker, but Rashee Rice can go 120 down the interstate, wreck it, walk away, and everybody's all good.
Then he can go to the club a few weeks later, punch a dude, and then just walk out. And Rashee Rice, and that dude just keeps getting in trouble too. I know we haven't talked about that. Like that dude's facing another charge, bro. Like he's facing another charge.
Real quick before we head off, would you buy the dip on the dip of Rashee Rice, or are we just past that?
I would just take Worthy and then just hope that this kid has got some kind of sense. To fucking at least whenever you're leaving the scene to grab the weed. Like I don't even care if he goes out and does what Rashee Rice did, but like if I hear that they didn't find any weed, I'm like, okay, well the dude took the weed. At least he's smart enough to take the sack with him. Like You know, like
that
I'm
was
dumbfounded.
That was the
Dumbfounded.
first thing I said. I was like, you can walk away, but you're dumb enough to not pick up the sack. That don't make no
Got your
motherfucking
tag
sense.
license to you and everything.
You gonna leave the stack. That shit. Anyways, let's wrap it up, man. Let's do what we do. That was buy lows for y'all. We went on a little political rant for you at the end. Me and Chris got to throw some shots.
Too,
Yeah, we didn't go too
it
much.
wasn't too political. Harrison
Yeah,
Buck
it
ain't
didn't
gonna
really.
get fined, is he?
Well, you
He's
know,
probably gonna get kicked out of the league.
You serious?
There's a
I don't know.
petition. There is a massive petition and a statement was just released from the NFL condemning this man, saying that they side completely not with Harrison Butker. Like, there's a petition to get this man kicked off the squad.
That is so crazy because Ray Rice back in the day, he was just like, I'm going to the third floor on this elevator. You are going to sleep. Like,
man.
I wasn't sure nothing, but it looked like she was kind of, running. It looked like she was being a little annoying.
I don't care what, I don't know what Butker said. I don't want to get canceled. I don't want to get canceled too much. I ain't going to defend Harrison Butker because I don't know what he said, but if Ray Rice can only get suspended for a year,
I would definitely defend him.
I'll defend him. Heck, my Harrison Butker jersey on the way from Amazon right now. Oh, man. But fuck it. It is what it is.
Like, the people's champ, dude. The people's champ.
You want to know why he's my champ? Because I think the last time Tech beat Georgia, he kicked that 50-yard game winner, and I'll just love him forever, baby. Let's go. But all right, let's wrap this thing on up, man. 5-star review. Check us out. Hey, listen, I put all the content on Twitter. You can follow me at Crew Matt Hamm. I just posted the Craft Man's Dynasty rankings 1 through 24. I posted mine. I'll get to see Swizzy's out there on them Twitter streets. Also, every episode posted on there. Don't forget to comment on any episode you want to, man. If you want to talk shit to us, we're not sensitive about it. Talk that shit. I'm a Craft Man. I bet somebody might hate on us, and I'm gonna be like, Craft Man. They didn't agree with my opinions. They
said we were stupid.
They gave us a 1 star. Oh man, it's funny, but we at Craft Man and Swizzy, we just have fun doing.
I'm gonna cry because I ain't ever gonna get that Coke.
I do want everybody to give us 5 stars, man. But some of the shit we be talking about, I don't blame you for the 1 star if it comes in there.
I don't think you can give us a 1 star. I think you can give us like a 3. It'd be like, it was good content, but they do get off topic sometimes, and I don't.
It ain't off topic, but they offended me in my beliefs sometimes. Who knows? They don't always talk about fantasy football. Sometimes they get off on other shit.
Matt Hand didn't have the same opinion as me. We're getting back on YouTube so y'all can see my face. That's gonna be my leftist face right there. We're gonna put this back on YouTube. We will be back on YouTube soon. We doing the work and we gonna get back on it. We gonna try to build a Discord, damn it. I'll executive decision. I'm gonna get on that Discord. I'm gonna try to build it. Let's get it up. So add the Discord, Cruise Dynasty Podcast. You can just join us. But listen, well, it's like we say, tell your buddy, tell your friend. I know there's folks out there that like fantasy football. I got a bunch of friends that like fantasy football.
I thought you were about to say, I know there's motherfuckers out there that got friends.
Some of y'all got friends out there. These are my only friends right here on the podcast.
If they ain't friends in the real world, they might be your friends on Call of Duty or something like that. I know how y'all young guys like to hang out on the systems they got out there with the Xboxes and stuff.
May have to start getting another one because NCAA Football 25 is about to come out.
What?
Bro.
Your boy don't even play games, and I'm getting that one. Let's go!
Right. I don't think there's been more hype for a football game.
I'm gonna definitely be getting on that shit.
I'm gonna be playing. Man. I'm playing as a Raging Cajuns for sure.
Oh man! All right. Anything else y'all want? Crap, man. Anything to say to our peeps?
I think we done filled their ear with so much bullshit tonight. I think we're good to go.
I was sober tonight, Crab Man. 100% sober.
I couldn't tell. I definitely couldn't tell.
I was hyped about it, man. Because you want to know why? Because the whole time I was thinking, man, we talking buy lows, and I'm gonna tell everybody about how I patch it up. Hey, let's get it. right, man. I get Crystal. You want to say anything to the folks? All right, man. Peeps, thanks for listening to the podcast. But we out.
Peace.